Into this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to The Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
Hey, it's the Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everybody around the world, and welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. I am Dr. Lotus Rashay, and I am the guest host for today. And I'm super happy to have right by my side Miss Chantrice Marshall. Hey, Chantrice, how you doing?
Hey, Miss Lotus, how are you?
I am doing so well, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. Now,
me too. I'm excited.
Yes, the balance doctor likes to keep everything in balance. And so we're going to start this party off right. And let's talk about what today's topic is of the show. I'll let you go ahead and share that.
So today we're going to be talking about my book, I'm Not Cursed, or Am I? Just to talk about generational curses and how to overcome them. My book gives affirmations, scriptures, pages in the book where you can journal if you feel as if this generational curse relates to you. It gives all of that.
All right, fantastic. So audience, we want to give you time to go ahead and share this broadcast out because it's unequivocal that this is a topic that a lot of people kind of scurry away from because most people don't want to talk about generational curses because it kind of makes them afraid. So go ahead and share this with your friends worldwide. Let them know that right here on the Kim Jacobs Show, we are talking about something that other people may not want to tackle. But we have Chantrice Marshall here today. I am not cursed, or am I?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you think you're cursed or not, go ahead and put in number 1 in the comment block below. And by the way, when you come in, let us know where you're joining the show from. We'd love to know so we can bring you up on the screen and say hello to you wherever you are in this fabulous world of ours. So, Chantrice, while people are coming in and they're telling us where they're coming in from, where are you from?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago, Illinois, the Windy City.
Yes.
How's the weather there?
Today is kind of rainy and cold.
All right. Well, I traveled this morning from Washington to New Jersey, and it rained almost the whole way. And I used to live in Chicago, so I really understand the weather. It does get cold in there. I would not trade your winters for nothing.
No.
Keep your winters. It's really cold there.
Absolutely.
So all the way from Chicago, I want to know a bit more about you. I know that you are an author, you are a mother, and I've got some secret sauce because I heard tell that you are also an actress and you've been on some amazing shows.
Absolutely. I've been on The Shy, I've been on Empire, Shameless, Love Country Craft. I did an Insure on the Spot commercial. I did a Case Files episode where I played the mother of it actually was a true story. I played the mother that lost her son to gun violence, coming home from a party. He was a college student. What else? Chicago Med, Chicago Fire.
Wow.
That's about it.
So you are very accomplished. So wow. See, I get to sit here as a privilege and an honor to be on the Kim Jacobs Show, and I'm brushing elbows with you, and you've been in all these different shows. And what I like that you said that you played this part where you were a mother and you lost your son to gun violence, which some people may feel like, well, that's a generational curse. And now I know that you have children yourself. So tell us about your children.
I have 3 girls. One is 15, one is 10, and one is 5. She'll be 6 next week.
Awesome. So you're going to have a teenager soon.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And you
Yes.
got a 5-year-old too. And you got a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old, and how old?
15-year-old.
15. Two teenagers, because the 10-year-old is going to be a teenager soon.
Yeah, preteen and officially a teenager.
Exactly. So I'm sure they inundate you with all types of questions.
Yes.
So
Different energies, moods,
Mhm.
all of that
Yes.
in one.
So how's the 5-year-old in relation to the 10-year-old?
The 5-year-old actually thinks she's the oldest. So very bossy, very I would say she acts older because she has older siblings. See,
Right.
I'm the oldest, so I kind of was like at that age, I wasn't acting like that and talking like that. Like, how do you know this stuff? But it's like being around two
Yeah.
older sisters. She's kind of like a sponge.
Yes. And how about the 10-year-old?
She's kind of quiet, kind of to herself. You know, the 15-year-old is just like, oh my God, where did she come from? Just too much personality. And I guess it's just the teenager stage.
Yes, the teenager stage. And most of us, we've all been there on each of them stages, actually. So let me ask you this. With having children, and especially girls, tend to want to ask a lot of questions about who they are, about life, and about how life works. How did you share with them, one, about your acting, first and foremost? What did they see on the screen, and how did they feel?
They was like surprised that at the same time. I think a comment my daughter made a couple weeks ago. She was like, "You kind of live a double life. Like I go to your Instagram page and you just keep this stuff from me." And I'm
Yes.
like, "No, it's not that. It's just that I'm on a mother duty and then I'm trying to multitask and still keep a part of me." So I
Right.
think they're proud at the same time.
All right.
Like I hear
Fantastic.
them
So,
tell their little friends about little
mhm.
stuff that I may do. Like recently, I was in a magazine and on Channel 7 News for a women's event for Women's International History Month. So they kind of excited at the same time.
So let's give them a shout out. Woo woo for
Yes.
the babies. That's what I'm saying. All three of your daughters. So with that being shared, they know about your acting. They understand that it is kind of like a double life, if you will.
Yeah.
But when we talk about the writing, that also takes you into a different realm of your life. And also it brings you into the lives of others because people read your book.
Yes.
So let's talk about the book because again, we talked about the fact that it's a topic that a lot of people may
Need
not
to hear about. Yes.
and they definitely need to hear about it. I'm not
Absolutely.
cursed, or am I?
Mm-hmm.
So you right there, you're begging the question.
Yes. And I'm glad that I titled that my book because once you read the title, it makes you want to tap more into yourself. It's like a reflection, like, okay, am I cursed or am I?
Yes.
Am I not cursed or am I?
So where did you get the title from? Because that's a phenomenal title, by the way. It's just like Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It made you think. Your title makes you think. So where did that come from?
Just seeing people that can't move further in life and progress because they don't know that they're living in a generational curse. And you got some people just like, oh, that's just how I am. I'm never going to change. But they're not reflecting on the fact that it goes back generation and generation to why you are the way you are.
Wow, that's awesome. So your mom and your dad, had they ever talked to you about what they perceived were generational curses? Because you've got a slamming title.
No,
yet I know you've had to hear about generational curses from somewhere. So they hadn't talked to you about it. Where did you learn about generational curses?
I learned about generational curses about 10 years ago, going to a church in Chicago, and a pastor every Sunday he would kind of yell out like, favor ain't fair. Like, be happy that you're not your mother or your father. And I have to add in there, like I said the same thing over and over. It's not to say that your mother and father are bad people, but it's like looking at your parents, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm glad I didn't turn out that way, or I'm glad I don't have that characteristic about myself. But just saying like favor ain't fair, be happy that it skipped you. Be happy that you're not like your parents.
Right. Fantastic. So you learned it in church. And
Yeah.
a lot of us, oftentimes, that, if not at home, that's the
Mm-hmm.
first place we hear of generational curses.
Mm-hmm.
So when you
Yep.
first heard about generational curses, what was the conversation like?
It was more of me just observing and then researching it myself, and then like having aha moments as I pay attention to myself and my family and other people. But I kind of like kept it inside like for years and years and years. It wasn't something that I was like talking about. Then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna write a book about this. I'm gonna write a book about this. And for years I just finally did it. But at first it just was like observing and reading and wondering and going back into my family history and asking my cousin about our family history. And this happened on this side of the family and this happened on this side of the family. So it kind of was like me researching and wanting to heal myself at the same time.
Right. And that's awesome because that means that you had to dive deep, really look at yourself and really say, this is where I'm at. So let's take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break and pay homage to our sponsors. And we're going to take a wonderful pause for the cause and thank to the episode's sponsor for the Kim Jacobs Show today is sponsored by Snow Legal Group. SnowLegal.com.
I'm attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or rideshare, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right, and we are back. We are back. And for those of you that are just joining us today, we have a phenomenal guest, Chantrice Marshall. She is an amazing young lady, and she's here today talking to us about her new book, I'm Not Cursed, or Am I? And we've also talked to her about some of her acting debuts. She's been on all different types of shows. She's an author, she's a mother, she's an actress, and she's a real person talking about real issues that we face in our personal lives. And we face them not just on a personal level in our families, but we face these things on a spiritual level. Because let's face it, when we talk about spirituality and if we are cursed or if we are not, it makes us question our relationship with the Most High. It makes us question our relationship with ourselves, with our family members, with our friends, and with others that we come in contact with. Yes, the world around us. And it doesn't matter if we're talking to people within our own home or even talking to people in other countries where customs and cultures might be different. It still begs the question, and it's a nagging question. Are we cursed? Maybe we are, and maybe we aren't. But today, we're talking with a young lady that dared to ask the question and write the book to delve deep to find out if she was cursed or her family was cursed, or maybe they weren't. And then how do you deal with it? How do you overcome challenges with being cursed? And yet, even though you may feel or may know or may not be cursed, the question still looms in your mind. Or am I? It makes us take a deep down look at how we are, about how our family from generation to generation has been, our forefathers and our foremothers, what they've done in the past, and if it's having a trickle down effect, not only to us, but also our offspring. And she is back. Chantrice Marshall. Hey, happy to have you back. So let's get right back into this thing.
Okay.
When you shared that you found out about generational curses in church, and the conversation was as such. Were you surprised about some of the things that the pastor and or the congregation was sharing with you about generational curses?
Yes, I didn't know how deep they were. I really didn't. You really have to acknowledge that you're not living and want to be blessed, because it really can swallow you up.
Right. And so let's talk about when you started writing your book. Was it inspired where God just said, "Hey, Chantrice, I got something for you. I got something for you. Okay, I want you to write this." And did you go, "What? God, not me?"
Yeah, the ending part absolutely kind of happened like that. So I'll go back, just putting notes in my phone and in a journal, just jotting down what I heard at church, then going back to scripture, then going back to doing research, then going back to things that I noticed within myself. But I would say last year, I found that journal that I had been writing in, and it was from over about 8 years ago, that journal. In that same week, I received a word from the prophet that said that God wants you to write, like your calling is writing, your purpose is writing, and the devil wants to distract you. He wants to throw things your way, but you need to finish what you started. And I kind of already knew what she was talking about. So it kind of was like God did do the leading at the end after so many years of procrastinating and sitting on it, you know.
Awesome. So you heard the call. Was your first response, "Yes, I'm going to do it," or "You got to be talking to somebody else"?
It was like, I'm going to do it. And that was like the sign and the push that I needed.
So you brave. You brave.
Yes, it
She
was
brave,
like,
right, folks? She
because I
brave.
had
So
tried
those
so
of
many
you,
things that was just so unfulfilling to me. And it just was
yes,
like, you're wasting your time. You're not giving it your all. You know, that this is really not your passion and your purpose. So it's like, you got to get back to what really makes you happy.
awesome. And writing makes you happy.
Yes.
Writing something that is meaningful makes you
Yes.
happy,
Mm-hmm.
because this book is really touching the lives of many people who dare not even ask the question, who dare
Mm-hmm.
not face the question, who dare
Mm-hmm.
not even exercise their right to delve deep
Mm-hmm.
within to find out what's going on in their history so that
Right.
they can change their now and their future.
Right.
So let's talk about the book a bit more. So
Right.
in your first chapter of the book, tell us a bit about the first chapter and why you named it what you named it.
Okay. So the first chapter is Sarah the alcoholic. It's about a girl who just seems to be lost. She seems to be broken. She can't understand why she is the way that she is. On her mother's side of the family, no one is an alcoholic. So it sticks out to like she's this alcoholic that gets DUIs and she's just broken. And one day she was sitting in a break room, and a older lady kind of looked at her and said she was looking lost and broken. And the older lady was like, "Whatever you're going through, you just need to give it to God. You know, it's gonna get better." And she just started bawling, crying. And from that day, she wanted to heal herself, get to know herself. And she found her father's side of the family to find out everyone on her father's side of the family were alcoholics.
Right.
You know, they struggle with alcoholism. So she was living in a generational curse, even though she did not know her father's side of the family.
So right now, that what you just said is often commonplace for many people around the world, and it's pervasive. It doesn't matter what country you're in, what your racial background is, what your religion is,
Mm-hmm.
none of that. It's
Mm-hmm.
pervasive. So I want to ask our audience, I want to know from you, do you have someone in your family, or maybe this is you, maybe you've had some challenge with substance abuse disorders, namely alcohol, where this first chapter can speak to you, teaching you that you're worthy. So, audience, if this is you or someone you know, someone you love, go ahead and put a number 3 in the comment block below. Put a 3 in the comment block below and let us know how this person overcame, because substance use disorders is oftentimes a taboo. Again, goes right back to generational curses. Many times we have people in our families who have substance use disorders, whether it be alcohol or another chemical substance.
Mm-hmm.
and it goes on from generation to generation, or it'll skip a generation.
You're right. And that's
So-
what people need to be aware of. It's just because
Exactly.
it skipped your generation does not mean that it can't come on the next generation.
Exactly. That's true. And so while our guest is putting that in, we're going to take a quick break to pay homage to our amazing sponsors, because today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show is also sponsored by Silver Shield Security. And we'll be right back.
It's not just another day, it's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements, and we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
Silver Shield Security. I love that commercial. So we're back, folks. And if you're just joining us, we have our wonderful guest, Chantrice Marshall, and we are talking, I'm cursed, or am I? Am I cursed or am I? I'm not cursed. Or am I? And see, and this is the thing about the title. It really makes you start wondering, are your children, people that you're working around, other people in your family? So the first chapter where you talk about the person with alcohol, another taboo subject.
Yeah.
What about your chapter 6? Let's talk about chapter 6. And that's right, y'all. I'm making her go to the book. Secret sauce.
I know the topics, but when you say chapter 6,
you knew I was going there. So I'd like you to read a little excerpt from your book in chapter 6.
Okay. So chapter 6 is called The Vicious M Cycle. In this chapter, I start off by saying I know one of the worst things that someone could be is a molester or a killer. But I do believe that molestation is a generational curse as well. The truth is that it's passed down and it leaves people with trauma and damaged soul because hurt people hurt people. Then I kind of refer to the R. Kelly situation, to whereas, what he did was wrong. But when I kind of hear about how he was molested as a kid, that also was a generational curse because once again, hurt people, right. And people do what was done to them. So I was just, saying that with that generational curse, the only way to heal that is to never be ashamed, to get help, to go to counseling, to have a support system, to not let that pain dictate your future, right. So try to heal yourself. I also have a scripture in that chapter. I have applications, I have affirmations, and I also have pages where you can journal as well.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. So hurt people. Now, we have a phenomenal audience that's here with us today, and I want to pop up some more of their comments. I saw Mother Spradley's with us today. Good to see you, Mother Spradley. I saw that Angela Elch is with us all the way in New Jersey. I see that Ezekiel or Kins is here all the way from the Philippines. I see Arnetta. Hey, Arnetta, how you doing? So happy to have you here. And she said, congratulations to all your accomplishments. Yes. And Thank you. There we go. Miss Charlene Sparks, how you doing? She says, greetings, Women with Vision, INC, North Carolina. Glad to be here. We're happy to have you here. Scarlett Crescent, how you doing? Watching from France. How you doing? So happy to have you here. And I see Easy's from Manila is here. And people are just streaming. And hey there, Harris from the Philippines, coming in from all over the world. Hey, Patrice Forward from Pennsylvania. Great to see you. Happy to have you here. That's my cousin. So Angie says, I like the title. It stops you in your tracks.
Thank you. So, thank you.
Hey there from the Philippines, Sarah Beth. Hey, and I see Hillary Gooden from Chicago, the Windy City, your neck of the woods. So I want to share this. And I see we've got a Facebook user. You are blessing some souls today. Amen. Yes, we are right here on the Kim Jacobs Show, because that's what the Kim Jacobs Show does. And I see Kay DeLeon. She said, but my friend is still struggling. She hasn't yet overcome being an alcoholic.
Give your friend a copy of my book as a gift and let her read it, let her meditate it, let her read the scriptures, the prayers, let her, if she's still struggling, these pages to the reasons why she's still struggling would help her heal.
Awesome. And so not only is your book just a good book to read, it's transformative.
Yes.
It will help people turn that difficult corner that they've been facing oftentimes
it's like
for many
a
years.
self-help guidebook, a self-help
guidebook.
So
I wanted to kind of trickle back and visit that message that Angela Elton shared with us. She said the title stops you in your tracks. So audience, when you heard the title, did it stop you and make you think about yourself, about your forefathers, foremothers, about your children, about your friends, about your coworkers? If it did that for you, I want you to put a number 7 in the comment block below, because we're on to something here. This discussion today is helping people all around the world really delve deep and ask themselves these deep questions. And in chapter 6, we went even further. We talked about the alcoholism, but then we also talked about something that oftentimes happens in families.
Yeah.
That people don't talk about. So, Chantrice, when you talked about this in your book, thank you, Annette. Thank you, Angie. When you talked about this in your book, did you get some raised eyebrows from people in your family and from your friends and people at work?
I would say right in the book, people was like, wait, what is she going to talk about? Is our family cursed? What's going on here? So I would say it probably, the people in my family was like, well, is it going to be shady? Is it going to be like, what is she talking about? But in all actuality, I feel like all the chapters in my book can relate to at least one person and at least one family. No matter who you are, no matter what race you are, we all have some type of generational trauma in our family that's passed along, whether it skipped you, whether you're not aware of it. I feel like we all have some type of generational trauma.
So I want to also ask you, you have several amazing chapters in the book. Which chapter was the easiest to write and why?
I would say the easiest one to write was Unhealed Childhood Trauma.
So why was Unhealed Childhood Trauma the easiest one for you to write? Because a lot of times when we have childhood trauma, it follows us in our lives. And unless we become more self-aware, we don't deal with it. And some of us are in our 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. And, some of us are in our 20s. Yeah, y'all see me straightening my jacket. I'm not in my 20s, but, right? But we don't deal with it. But for you, why was that the easiest chapter to write?
Basically everything that you just said, because it follows us and people just like, oh, I'm this way and this way. Then once you get to talking and knowing people and they get to opening up to you and they like, okay, that's the way you are, why you are. This happened to you and you never let go of. And I stated that in that chapter. I said, you can be sitting across the table looking from a 40-year-old or 50-year-old, but internally they're still 12 years old at the age that the childhood trauma took place because they haven't healed it yet.
Exactly. Wow. And that's powerful because it really helped, like you said, people to understand, oh, this is why you do what you do. This is why
molds you into the person you are today.
Exactly. This is why you have trust issues because of this. And then it opens the way more for you to deal with some of those issues and really seek out the help that you need. And then, sometimes people think that when you're dealing with something, they may feel like, oh, well, you just deal with that. You're an African-American woman or you're a woman, you just deal with it. You can get through it. but sometimes it's just not so easy. And Kim says you can be looking at a 40-year-old, but they may still be stuck in their childhood years of when their trauma happened.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that, Chantrice?
I believe that's solely true. Solely true. And it's like, why are you acting this way? Like, why are you that person and you're still like stuck as a kid? You know, you're operating as an adult, you're a parent, you work daily, you know, you do adult things, but when it comes to your characteristics and traits, you're still a broken child because you haven't healed that childhood trauma.
Awesome. And we had a message from Mr. Larry Pace all the way from North Carolina. He's loving the Kim Jacobs Show. He says, hi, beautiful lady. God bless you and the awesome Kim Jacobs Show all the way from North Carolina. We love you and we love you too. Yes. And we have Miss Robertson. She said, becoming more self-aware is important to be able to heal and be strengthened to move forward. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what she just said about being more self-aware, because I said earlier, it opens up the way to move forward. So when you wrote this book and that easy chapter for you, how did that chapter help open the path for you being more self-aware and maybe conquering some things that may have held you and hurt you from the past?
It made me look more into myself as well, because it's like if you're gonna write a chapter about unhealed childhood trauma, then you need to tap within yourself as well. So during this book, writing this chapter, I kind of talked to my counselor more about myself, and I discovered some things about myself that was like, okay, I thought I was normal, perfectly okay, but it's like, okay, that contribute to how I act in a certain situations.
And see, you hit the nail on the head, because you said, I thought I was normal. Well, the thing with that is it becomes normal. It becomes the norm.
It's normal behavior
becomes the norm. And so, because just like our guest or our viewer said earlier, it opens the path. It helps you change. It helps you say, you know what? I've got to fix what's in me. But here's a major key, Chantrice, that you said. You looked within.
Yeah, I looked
and you had help. You had a counselor.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about that for a minute, if we may. Why is it so critical for people, everyday people? I mean, you're actors, you're an author, you're a mother, and you're an activist, I dare say, to help people really move and make the shift into the better life. So you have all this marvelous stuff going on, and you still have a counselor. Why is that so important, to have someone in your life to help counsel you?
I want to be the best version of myself possible, especially since I have my daughters watching, especially since I want to move forward. Like, I don't want to harbor anything. I want to let everything go. I want to tap into things that's uncomfortable to talk about. I don't mind being transparent. Like, I always tell women, like, I healed myself by other women being transparent about their story. Like, you cannot heal what you don't reveal. And it's not healed if you sit in a room, like, scared to talk about it. You're not healed from it.
Whoa, 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 whoa. That's huge. You cannot heal if you don't reveal. You cannot heal. Now, look, I always say note takers are money makers and note takers are change makers. Please, if you have your notepad and pen, put in number 10 because you're 10 to win. If you have your notepad and pen, put in number 10 because you tend to win. Chantrice, say that one more time. If you don't what?
If you can't, if you don't reveal it, you can't heal it. You can't heal from what you don't reveal.
Right. If you don't reveal, you cannot heal. Yeah. So write that down in your book, because a lot of times we hide. We are a society that has been taught to suppress. And wait, go back. Let me see. Miss Caldwell says, yes, there is power in our story. That is the truth. You know what? I learned a long time ago when I was working over in Japan. I was working with people with substance use disorders. I was doing great. The director said I was doing great. My patients said I was doing great, but I wasn't doing fantabulous until I started talking to them about my family members who had substance use disorders and how it made me feel and all that. And then I really started doing some great work. I really started changing more lives for the better. And you know why? Because it's what you said. Until I revealed, my patients weren't healed. Until I revealed, I wasn't healed. And I'm still healing. And Angie said, how many people should we have in our support team? And what types of support people are helpful, not helpful? What are your thoughts on that, Chantrice?
What type of people should we have in our support team? Ones that are on the same page of you, that's willing to be vulnerable, that's willing to be open, that's willing to be transparent, so willing to take accountability and try to heal themselves as well.
All right, fantastic. I love that. So if you receive that and you know it's time for you to reach out and get a group that will support you and get that right group, go ahead and put a number 11 in the comment. And then also go ahead and add in there, what are you willing to do to help heal yourself over some of the traumas? And now we've only talked about 2 chapters of the book. And baby, we haven't even started yet. But we're going to take a quick break and say thank you to our wonderful sponsors, Attorney Charles Ali Everidge, Hunter Everidge Injury and Disability Attorneys. We'll be right back.
I'm Attorney Charles Everidge. I started out representing insurance companies until my father was seriously injured at work. 4 of his fingers were amputated. Our family went through a lot, so I know what you're going through as an injured worker. If you've been hurt on the job, call me now. I'll fight to get the workers' comp benefits you may deserve. I'll fight for you like family. Put my experience to work for you. Call 704-457-5000, the first call for injured workers. My father had 4 of his fingers amputated in a workplace accident. It was the first injured individual I represented, and I knew I had to win that case. When someone walks into my office and they've been injured, I know what they're going through. If you've been injured at work, work with Hunter and Everidge. We've got the experience, so let us help you.
Love it. So if you've been injured, make sure you go to Hunter because he's there to help. And so for those of you that's just joining us, we welcome you back to the Kim Jacobs Show. I'm Dr. Lourdes Richey. I am the guest host for today with our amazing guest, Chantrice Marshall. She has written an incredible book that causes us to think and really think hard about, I'm cursed or not? Am I cursed? I don't know. But Chantrice's book is a book that will help you delve deep because it's like a workbook. It goes into the core of many of the problems that many of us face because we have these generational things that follow us throughout life over and over and over again. And sometimes we never address it. And not because we're afraid. Sometimes we are, but it's not necessarily because we're afraid. Sometimes it's because we just don't know how, because we haven't had anybody to say, listen, this is what's happened generationally, and this is how you can overcome it. But here today, Chantrice Marshall is here today, sharing with us excerpts from her book, sharing with us her life's work. And so we've talked about what was the easiest chapter for you to write. Now, Chantrice, you know where I'm going.
The hardest.
The hardest chapter for you to write, and why?
The hardest chapter to write was the chapter about, was I born gay this way? Because I didn't want to offend anyone. So I kind of had my pastor read over, and she was like, no. Actually, I was like flipping through the book to like show her. Then she caught that chapter. She just was like, God told, he showed me this for a reason. She was like, you can't put this. You cannot put this. So I kind of went back and forth with that chapter because I didn't want to offend anyone's sexuality. I know that's a a very touchy subject. So I just was like, I don't want to be on the attack. I don't want to offend anyone. So I think that was the hardest chapter for me.
So that was hard because you kind of had cognitive dissonance, and you wanted to make sure that you were meeting people where they were from a loving space.
Right. Because you get so many people that be like, oh, we're gay people. You're just not born that way. That's just not how you are. And then you got some people that's like, okay, yeah, you can be born gay. Then you got some people that's like childhood trauma made that person gay. And all those aspects can be true. But I wanted to bring awareness to the fact that some people that I had conversations with say that they literally was just born gay. Like since a kid, they knew that they were this way. They didn't have any childhood.
So what I'm hearing.
So I wanted to talk about it.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you delved deep. You went and you did the research behind it. You didn't speculate. And like you said, there's a myriad of different answers because everyone is different and everyone's connection with who they are and connection with the higher power is different. So once you got to that chapter, what did you learn that you didn't already know? Did you hear me okay?
Okay, now I can hear you. I don't know what happened.
All right, fantastic. So when you got to that chapter and you started doing your research, because that's what I'm hearing you say, you did some research. When you did the research, what did you learn that you didn't already know?
I would say the correct wording, like certain things that you just can't say that's going to be offensive automatically. Different wording. Definitely if you don't want to offend the, community.
Person, right. So you found out how to speak to people without being offensive.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and that's great because that's what great writers do when they're delving deep. So how about a myth? What myth did you have, if you feel like sharing it, that once you started talking to people who are living their life in the open and who are maybe coming under fire from their family members, from their coworkers, and from their churches? What myth was dispelled for you?
In that chapter, I also put affirmations. I also put prayers, scriptures, because I feel like that's one of the most judged topic. It's like an automatic, you're going to hell, automatic, you're living a wrongful life. So, everybody's talk about in the Bible how it says, you're not supposed to be gay, but it's also scriptures that say you're supposed to love people how they are.
Exactly. And sometimes, let's just be real. Let's be real. As you've been throughout the whole show, sometimes people find it hard to love other people because they don't love themselves.
That's true. And
sometimes that can be situated from generation to generation because sometimes we're not taught how to love ourselves.
And they're not walking in their truth. And I feel like gay people, they're walking in their truth boldly,
Exactly. I concur with that. And so with that being said, we're going to take another quick break. And we want to thank our other sponsor for today's episode. It's just amazing that this episode is sponsored by Get Insured Solutions. So let's get insured. We'll be right back.
Nothing says I love you more than final expense insurance whole life protection with funeral advocacy nationwide, saving you and your family 30 to 80% off funerals and cremations. Nothing says I love you more than Get Insured Solutions, LLC. GetInsured.Solutions. 704-499-3616.
All right. So we are back, and wow, Kim's gonna play this promo. Kim is so awesome. Thank you, Kim. Trinidad and Tobago's first international virtual fashion showcase. Experience it firsthand with Lotus Richey Ignites, the official agency covering the event for the U.S. telecast. In collaboration with Cardinal Services and Fashion TT, Lotus Richey Ignites is your business one-stop shop for all your business needs. Connect with us today. All right, and we are back. Thank you so much. That's the fashion show that I'm doing.
Lamb Funeral Home has been serving the Cabarrus County in North Carolina and surrounding communities for more than 9 years. Our staff of funeral directors are dedicated to providing the very highest quality of service and continue to be well respected throughout the communities we serve. Our professionals are caring, experienced professionals who understand that each family is unique and has personal requests and traditions. These requests and traditions are the utmost importance to our staff of licensed funeral directors. From the initial care to aftercare, you can entrust your loved one and arrangements to Lamb Funeral Home.
Awesome, man. We're back. Love it. So, about the fashion show, that's what I'm doing. It's coming up on Friday. Gotta be there. And guess what? I've got some secret sauce because none other than the amazing Kim Jacobs is going to be helping me, the Lotus Richey Ignite show, cover the Trinidad and Tobago International first ever 3D, that's right, in the metaverse fashion show. It is going to be amazing. And Kim Jacobs is going to be helping to host my show because I'm inside with all of the wonderful designers and, of course, with Dr. Sabeda Singh, who is one of the promoters. It's her dream child and brainchild from Cardinal Services that she's helping to host this amazing fashion show in Trinidad and Tobago. And Kim Jacobs is going to help me help all of you here in the United States and around the world see this amazing fashion show. So that's what's up next for me. And I'm doing an amazing on Friday in Philly. So it's going to be great. So Chantrice, tell us what's next for you. What you got going on?
I am going to be working on turning my book into a stage play.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
A stage play. So I'm excited about that. I want to have different skits where you have like Megan, a woman hater, Sarah, the alcoholic, Kevin, who struggled with drugs, and, you know, different skits and different voices singing and affirmations and scriptures. I feel like I want to make more people aware of generational curses.
Okay, that's awesome. So the book, the screenplay, are you going to be the director? Or are you hiring a director? What do you do?
No, I want to be the director.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I want to be hands-on. Like, this book is my baby. Like, I want to be the director.
Awesome. So how can folks connect with you?
If you would like to purchase the book, you could go to my website, www.queenchantrice.com. My book is also available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And if you would like to follow me on Instagram, it's queen_Chantrice.
All right. I love that. So those of you that want to get that book, we're going to bring this back up here in a minute. And we've got a Facebook user that say, Dr. Lotus, I usually ask my daughter for her guest books. Please let Kim know that I want Chantrice's book. All right. Fantastic.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate the support. Thank you.
That book. Fantastic. So I say that I am willing to donate one of Chantrice's books to one of our viewers worldwide.
Nice. Okay.
Worldwide. Now, here's the thing. I need to know, and the first person that answers this, I need to know in chapter 1, what was chapter 1 about? What was chapter 1 about? Put that in the comment block. And if you can tell us what chapter 1 was about in the comment block, you're going to win a book. And we're going to take a minute. We're going to give people a moment to put that in. And so, Chantrice, not only can they get your book, I want to invite everyone on the show. Also, please support this broadcast. Support the Kim Jacobs broadcast here, because it takes time. It takes patience. It takes a lot of maneuvering. There's a lot of maneuvering, moving parts here at the Kim Jacobs Show. The Kim Jacobs Show is able to air daily with your support. So you can support the Kim Jacobs Show by Cash App. You can do the $ Kim Jacobs INC. You can hit her on PayPal, or you can also do Venmo. You can do Patreon, and much, much more. Show your love, share your love, and subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show. Go to the YouTube. Go to https, right? //youtube.com/Kim Jacobs Show, and go ahead and ring that bell when you go to YouTube so you won't miss a beat of the Kim Jacobs Show. And so with that said, let's look and check some of the comments and see if anyone remembered what the first chapter was all about. And see, I was going to chime in too, but I want to give everybody else a chance to win that book. So with that being said, if you chime in and tell us, whoa, we
have a winner.
Caldwell, Miss Caldwell, overcoming alcoholism. That's right. Well, cha-ching and bling, you've got a book right on me. And I'm going to send that money right over to Kim Jacobs, and you can get that book. So Miss Caldwell, you're going to have to contact the Kim Jacobs Show. Make sure you can send her an email. Let her know what your address is. You're going to have to send her your address and send her your number so she can contact you and make sure she gets that book. And I'm going to pay for the postage as well. So with that being said, I'd like to hear from you. Any final parting thoughts? Again, how people can contact you. Anything else you got coming up? Any new book or what have you? And Patrice Forwards talked about, she said it was on brokenness, how to heal yourself and break family curses, alcoholism. That's all good. But I think Miss Caldwell got to us first. Yay. Thank you, Miss Caldwell.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. And thank you to the Kim Jacobs Show for having me, Dr. Lotus Richey. And we're going to hear some final thoughts from Miss Marshall before we go. Miss Marshall, go ahead. What are your final thoughts of the show?
The show was good. I thank you all so much. I thank for the supporters. They was really in tune. Like when I do interviews, I don't really have the engagement. So I thank you all for the support, the feedback, the questions, the people that were from France, Philippines. Thank you. And thank you to you and Kim.
Thank you so much. And again, thank you to Kim Jacobs and the Jacobs family. Right now, they are going through some loss, just as I recently went through some loss, and Kim was right there by my side, and we are right here by your side, Kim. We love you. We appreciate you, and please keep doing what you do. And that's her sister, Miss Jacobs, as well. So thank you so much for the beautiful picture. She was a woman full of life, and we know beyond a doubt that she was healed, and she is sitting on high with the master, looking down, looking low, and sharing love as we feel her glow. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. God bless everybody.
Look at them.
Yeah, aren't they beautiful?
Yes.
I love it. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Wonderful. 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 So please remember to send Kim Jacobs some love. Keep your prayers coming and keep your support. And don't forget, support the Kim Jacobs Show by Cash App. You can do it by PayPal. You can do it by Venmo or however you so choose. But please be sure to support. And also, did you see the little girls earlier? Those were Chantrice's daughters. You see them? Aren't they beautiful?
Thank
All right.
Thank
Fantastic.
You.
So we'll see you next time on the Kim Jacobs Show. Thank you and many blessings. And Chantrice, we thank you.
Have a good day.
And don't.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of the Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Kim Jacobs Show.